Time to call the Monday, November 11th, Veterans Day, 2024, meeting of the Westfield, Washington Township Plat Committee to order. We can start with staff confirming the presence of a quorum.
Robert Horke,
Present.
Haley Morgan,
Present.
Brian Kelly.
Here.
He's here virtual today. Michael Pierce is,
Virtual.
and Justin Wiley.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Cool. No changes to our one single item on the agenda, so we're ready to go. Minutes of the October 28th meeting, 2024 are up next. Is there a motion regarding the minutes?
I will move to approve the meeting minutes from October 28th, 2024.
Second.
Motion from Haley Morgan, seconded by Justin Wiley. We have to call the roll since we have a virtual attendee.
We'll start with Brian Kelly.
Yes.
And he has to be visible.
I believe so. Yeah,
No,
Brian.
I didn't.
You
You need-
could.
There's a picture of him. Am I not?
Usually-
Frozen. Okay.
Yeah.
Guess I'm not sure why I'm not. I'm showing that I am visible.
Okay, got you now.
See you now.
In order
Okay.
to be visible for at least the vote.
Thank you, Brian.
You can go disappear again, but stay on the call.
There we go.
Alright, continuing on with the voting.
Justin Wiley,
Yes.
Robert Horke,
Yes,
and Haley Morgan.
Yes.
okay. Minutes are approved. If you could still review the rules of procedures for today's meeting.
All right, yep, of course, President. So items requiring a public hearing tonight. Today's meeting has the following structure. The department will summarize the petition. Then the petitioner will be given up to 15 minutes to present to the Plat Committee. The president will open a public hearing. Individuals will be given 3 minutes to speak. Those representing a group will be given 5 minutes to speak. Only one member of the group will be given 5 minutes to speak. And for efficiency purposes, we ask that those representing a group speak first. There's no one in our audience today, but just kind of have to read these anyway.
There may be a virtual attendee
sure,
that we haven't
sure.
heard about yet.
The public hearing will be closed when all interested members of the audience have been given a chance to be heard and all emails received during the meeting have been provided to committee members. The petitioner will then be given 10 minutes to respond to comments without interruption. The committee will then follow up with any questions, comments, or concerns regarding the petition. This may include additional discussion with the petitioner. The committee will then act upon the petition. General rules of conduct tonight. Please do not disrupt the proceedings in any way. If you need to have a private discussion, then we ask that you please quietly exit the room. Please silence your devices at this time. If you must answer them, then please quietly exit the room. If you are attending in person and wish to speak in regards to a petition scheduled for a public hearing, please sign up on the cardboard or the sign up petition here. We ask that those representing your group speak first. During your comments, please state your name and address into the microphone for the record, and we ask that you not repeat previously stated comments. Your petition will be timed and you will be advised when there are approximately 30 seconds remaining. If you are not attending in person, comments regarding a petition, they should be emailed to planners@westfield.in.gov with the petition name or number included in the subject line. Those comments will be forwarded to the committee members and the petitioner. Thank you.
Thank you. There's no items of business, taking us to the single public hearing item that is in front of us. If Ryan can provide an intro, and then if there's any further commentary from your team, we'll entertain that for opening the public hearing.
Yep. All right, thank you, President. Members of the Plat Committee, for the record, Ryan Collingwood with the Community Development Department. The item presented before you this morning is an amendment to the Ravinia Overall Development Plan and Primary Plat. For area context, the subject real estate is about 80 acres in size and is generally located at the northeast corner of Eagletown Road and West 166th Street, as seen on the location map on the screen. The subject property will be utilized as a new residential community. Specific to this amendment proposal, the petitioner has requested modification to the southeast corner of the property. A new right-in, right-out access point has been requested, as efforts to connect into the east adjacent residential development were unable to be solidified as originally proposed on the approved set of plans. The original Ravinia ODP and primary plat were approved at your July 8th meeting of this year. This amendment proposal has been deemed compliant by staff as well as Public Works and is ready for a public hearing and eventual vote by the Plat Committee this morning. This item has received no comments throughout the public noticing process. The petitioner is here and available to answer any questions, as am I, if there are any for staff. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you have any further comments to offer us?
No, actually, I'm Tim Walter with Platinum Properties. I also have Gavin Backer with Kimley Horn, and then Stephen Walter from Platinum Properties. No, Ryan did a great job explaining. We've you all approved this plat previously, we just had to make a minor modification due to inability to connect to the subdivision to the east.
Okay, this item does require a public hearing. I will open that at 11:05 with a reminder that we have no attendees in the room that apparently will be speaking, but in case there is a virtual attendee, quickly email us at planners@westfield.in.gov. We'll hold the public hearing open till 11:07 to see if anything goes in our inbox. So at least send us a note that you're sending a note if you can't type that fast. This is the really exciting part of the meetings.
It's nice to be able to have this capability though.
It is.
This format, yeah, it's definitely
Yeah.
exceeded the I think our expectations of timeline and
Yeah.
things of that nature.
Talked it over for a long time before we pulled the trigger.
Yeah.
It's 11:06 in 45 seconds. If our inbox is still empty,
Still empty at this point.
public hearing is closed at 11:07. Hello, commissioners, virtual or in the room. Any questions or comments for the petitioner or staff? I brought up one item in our call on Wednesday or Thursday where we kind of vet the agenda here. I was trying to decide if this looks like it got a revision or not. It doesn't look like it did. So are we able to connect the XL, decel lanes and not have this in and out? Or is that still pending, or are you familiar, did staff
He
ask you that question?
Yes,
Any
yeah.
chance we can do that, a little more paving to,
So I haven't had any conversations with Michael, I didn't realize he wouldn't be here this morning, but our thoughts on this are, is there any reason why it can't be connected? No, I wouldn't necessarily say there's no reason why it can't, I just don't think that it's, from an engineering standpoint, I would say that it's not really a necessary connection for a few reasons. Number one, there's only 7 lots on this roadway, so they'll have very little traffic, if any. And if people are traveling to the west from those 7 lots, it's just kind of human nature to come out of your driveway, go west, go to the entrance and go out versus going east first to then go west. So I don't think there will be a lot of traffic entering 166th Street from the frontage place. And then the other thing is the people using the right in to leave on 166th Street, it's good to have that separated so that you then don't end up with people that are wanting to go all the way down to the main entrance, getting over sooner than they would need to, per se. And then I guess the third thing that I would say is that's also a movement. If you think about driving on the interstate when you have 2 ramps, an on ramp and an off ramp that come together and you're using the same lane, that cross merge is not necessarily an easy merge. So for all those reasons, we kind of think it might be, this is maybe a better way to go. But if this is something that that you all really would like to see done, we can make that connection.
to the benefit of folks that weren't aware of this before today, what I had asked about was, as you look at this diagram, you've got a decel lane to the east that is whatever that length is, and then an axle that is much shorter, and then you continue to the west and you have a similarly sized decel lane for the right in. I was thinking that the merging and the movements there might make more sense if we gave more space both to the number of residents and albeit it is few that might be leaving that eastern entrance that originally was intended to go straight to the east into the Midland development, but can't happen. And I understand your point, and I can easily be swayed probably that the likelihood of very many people using that exit to go to the west is probably fairly minimal. So maybe that axle isn't that big a deal, but it just made some sense in my mind. Why not just connect them? Cause I encounter this in a lot of places where there's things that aren't one development that would have control over both. So it's understandable how things end up with two relatively close together accel, decel lanes to access something. Sometimes to me it seems a little bit awkward. Acceleration is something that takes longer than decel.
Sure.
A lot of people don't understand what the numbers on the signs on
Well,
the side of the
that
road
gets you-
mean, and they tend to drive kind of fast. So my goal was, in my mind, to try to make certain that there's more of an opportunity, and I get your point about who's merging where,
Right.
so.
What's the, I mean, is that 166, is there a considerable amount of traffic there, or it's getting that way, or?
Well, Westgate
Plans
is
to be
just to
that
the
way.
west of this, there's certainly more and more development coming.
So the one thing I see is it gets people off the road and out of the way.
Yeah.
As they're decelling for that turn, but you have to keep that median in there or something, don't you, so that somebody isn't crossing
Right,
somebody coming out?
Correct.
Is that correct?
so that should just be right in, right out. Drivers being as creative as they are, somebody will come out of there
And go left.
and go the wrong way.
Yeah.
I keep asking in a lot of our meetings, can you make sure that that is really idiot proof? They don't always come out that way.
Okay,
So
so
it's just a question that I raised that I thought warranted some merit, some further discussion.
so you're
Really
taking
any-
out some dirt, putting in some asphalt and straightening the curb line. And that's about it, right?
Yeah. Any thoughts, Haley?
Yeah, I was, so in the interior, taking out the dirt, currently it's median?
No, the edge of the existing pavement is here. So the existing road,
Okay,
So that would be existing curb right there,
Okay.
that they're tying back to.
got it,
I'm
got
not
it,
sure
got
there
it.
is even a curb there though.
yeah, it's,
Oh, there ain't even a curb?
no, 166th Street's like any other old county road, just has a
Okay.
shoulder.
So you're not putting in a curb for diesel either, it's just,
We have curb shown here. But we
okay,
do not, this dashed line represents a stone shoulder.
gotcha.
I could go either way on it. My biggest concern is just the continued development in the area, and I'm always trying to think of working a step ahead rather than being a step behind, and if
Yeah.
this is the best, if whichever is the best proposed option, I think doing it ahead of time makes more sense than doing it in reaction.
I like that it gets more people off the street for that decel, but engineering isn't here to say one way or another, so. If we're just, should we just approve it with engineering to review and see if there's a reason to?
That's an option. Let's listen to Brian. Virtual attendee, the
I guess I have a question as to what is currently to the west of this site. I should know that, but right now I'm drawing a blank. Just trying to consider what visual barriers they may be coming out of this area as a driver would be looking to the west.
Eagletown
My
Road.
first thought is I do like the option of giving a driver that may have made a mistake pulling out when they shouldn't have an area to basically retreat back to or drive off to.
So here's the subject parcel
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
identified here, so.
So it's just houses.
You will have there'll be more.
The vacant parcel to the east is currently being developed as Midland, originally known as Ackerson Farm. Estridge is doing that now as Midland. Eagletown is to the west. The block of large lot residential is not going anywhere. Those will remain. There is no access from Westgate, but some of those folks, no doubt, whatever way they leave their neighborhood, could end up down here. So
And
anyway,
how many homes are in the total again?
In Ravinia?
Yeah.
87.
187?
I still like bumping it, like you're suggesting, but I don't know if that deviates anything from engineering that we don't know about, because they didn't get to chime in.
that would have been helpful, so we can,
Yeah, we have no objection either way. We can do whatever the city feels is best, so we're happy to leave here with approval with a caveat that we follow whatever recommendation the engineering department has.
Yeah, apologies, I was expecting Michael Pierce's attendance, so yeah, we can, if that is something the Plat committee is comfortable with, we can go back and make sure they are comfortable with whatever they think is.
the recommended conditions in our motion would include the approval by Public Works of any construction standards waivers, and if applicable, that all necessary approvals be obtained from the Westfield Public Works Department and Hamilton County Surveyor's Office prior to the issuance of an improvement location permit, two fairly standard ones, which can kind of encompass,
Naturally.
give them veto opportunity, and if they don't feel that there's a reason not to do it, that we'll have it done.
Sure.
So if we're all good with that, Brian, thumbs up, thumbs down,
I'm good with that.
so. Probably need to make that a third condition.
Yeah, make a note. I don't know what the verbiage which should sound like, after additional public works review, I suppose.
Yeah, that the 166th Street access will incorporate connecting axle and decel lanes from the Ravinia right in, right out, and the full turn entrance unless Public Works prefers to not have that. So, I've read the other two conditions, I've stumbled through some language for that. So, if there aren't any other comments, we're ready for a motion incorporating those three conditions unless anybody has a thought for an additional one. Seems like that's the case, so do we have a motion? Working on that, Justin.
I'll make a motion
Oh.
to, yeah, unless somebody else was here who's going to do it, but
No, it's all yours.
just, yeah, I'll make the motion to approve the layout with the three conditions as stated previously.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion from Brian, seconded by Justin Wiley. Staff can to approve, subject to three conditions, the two on the staff report and the one I have additionally requested. If you can please call the roll.
Haley Morgan,
Yes.
Brian Kelly,
Yes,
Justin Wiley,
Yes.
and Robert Horke.
Yes.
Items approved via the three conditions.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Here and get started.
Yeah.
There are no items continued to a future meeting. Bring us now to reports and comments. Are there any comments from any of our Plat committee members for each other?
Sure.
Plan commission continues to be busier and busier.
Plan, they're doing some planning.
Yeah, we're open for business again and there are things coming our way. Tonight's council agenda has two initial
Did a peek at it.
presentations that will be coming to APC and eventually here. Couple of exciting new developments.
Cool. News good.
The one on near Park Street and Westfield Boulevard, I'm trying to blank on the name now, is one of the two.
Yeah,
Park Street in Westfield.
The Dora,
Park and Poplar, yeah, that's what I couldn't think of.
That's on blank there too.
Park and Poplar,
Oh,
be sure and look at the agenda, there's a couple cool things coming. Do we anticipate having a additional meeting or two yet this year? Defer to staff to bring us up to date on that, since I don't usually know about these things as far ahead of time. Do we
Sure.
have any plats that are likely to be here in December?
Possibly, yeah, I would expect maybe to meet at least once in December. I can confirm with our staff about what exactly would be on that. But we do have a couple in the pipeline / in review right now, so I could expect definitely a December meeting, so
Okay,
possibly keep the date open, at least definitely the first December meeting. I would think.
all right,
We will confirm.
we're ready for a motion to adjourn.
motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Motion to adjourn from Justin Wiley, seconded by Haley Morgan. If you please call the roll.
Brian Kelly,
Yes.
Haley Morgan,
Yes.
Justin Wiley,
Yes.
sorry, and then Robert Horke.
Yes,
We are adjourned at
11:21.